Poverty is a problem that can last lifetimes and generations.
Wasn't for places like this, I'd go hungry.
An issue that can feel absent of a cure.
It's literally killing us.
This week, we're in Chula, Mississippi. This community knows the challenge of poverty. Why an answer to the struggle could be in these crops. We're looking at what factors across America lead to poverty, and what can be done to help those fighting to get out of it. This is The Race. Welcome to The Race. I'm Chris Stewart. The median household income in America is a little more than $59,000 a year. It's less than half that here in Holmes County, Mississippi. It's a tough stat for this area, but one some here aren't letting define them.
I hear a lot. You can go to Holmes County. You can get away with murder in Holmes County. That doesn't sit right on a lot of people's heart.
It could be easy to give up on Chula, Mississippi.
I'm just committed to making life better, and I just think we could live better and we could do better.
Not for Calvin Head.
What's missing here in Holmes County is opportunity, for the most part.
He was born in this county, now with a population of around 17,000.
Socioeconomics, we're at the bottom of every statistical data that you can name.
He leads a local group focused on using farming to make this community stronger. The unemployment rate in this county is nearly double the state of Mississippi's and nearly triple the national average.
We can get on any television station or on the radio and cry the blues and say, poor, poor us, but what about the opportunities that we can make happen?
This is what that opportunity looks like.
So it's going to be a farmer's market, and it's also a convenience store.
Calvin's helping this store, the only one within miles, become a place where local farmers can sell fresh fruits and vegetables.
Just to provide a service in the community, because otherwise we'll have to drive 5 miles for, just basic food stuff or either gas or milk or something like that.
Next door?
So this facility, in about a month or so, we'll come in and we'll employ about 10 people.
He's helped create a building with farm equipment to clean and organize crops that he hopes will be sold in this area and beyond.
We have a commodity with these products. Everybody's health conscious right now. It's an opportunity to make money to sustain us and give us the independence that we need.
This isn't just about jobs and money.
The last business opened up in Chula was a funeral home, and he's doing very well.
Healthy food here is hard to find.
People are really, really sick and people are dying at a rate that's unbelievable, and most of it has to do with the diet and the food that we're consuming.
We've been planting greens, planting peas.
18-year-olds Jamero Harris and Q Baker both make money farming.
I don't plan to live here forever, but you're gonna have people coming here after me. So it's gonna be a lot of help for them to actually have a store to come to.
Calvin isn't going to let uncertainty stop a chance at opportunity.
Who knows if it's gonna work, but we gotta try something.
Opportunity to change a narrative about a place struggling with poverty.
I don't think anything is gonna happen in this part of town to make life better for anybody else unless we make it happen ourselves.
The minimum wage debate is a big part of the poverty discussion. A 2019 Congressional Budget Office report found raising minimum wage to $15 an hour would lift 1.3 million people out of poverty. That's the size of the city of Dallas. Researchers are studying the ways minimum wage impacts housing affordability. The average minimum wage worker in America made $11.80 last summer. According to a government report from around the same time, a person has to make $22.96 an hour to afford a modest 2-bedroom rental house in the U.S. For someone making the federal minimum wage of $7.25, that means working 127 hours a week or holding more than 3 full-time jobs. More than half of Americans living in urban areas face housing insecurity, and Alicia Nieves found out that involves a lot more than just being able to afford rent.
The cost of living in rural America tends to be less expensive than in big cities. But even here, many working Americans are struggling to get by.
I'm a single mom of 3 children. I'm ranging from 22 to 12. I work from the time I get up at 6 in the morning till 4 o'clock at night.
For the last 4 years, Shelley McCarthy has been used to hopping in her car, going from one job to the next, working up to 4 jobs at the same time.
From waitressing, and then doing visiting nursing, and then also still working with the developmental adults. I missed out on a lot of my son's, my 12-year-old's activities at school.
Despite that sacrifice, all her hours worked. McCarthy has had months where she couldn't make the mortgage, still can't make much needed repairs to her home, and even affording healthier food is out of reach.
My daughter has a thyroid disease, so I missed out on cooking healthy meals for her because I had to cut it down. You know, I couldn't afford organic food.
What's happening in America today is that the cost of living is outstripping the wages. So we're seeing that over the last 10 years, wages increased about 20%, but the cost of living increased up to 36% for a family of 4. So people are just falling farther and farther behind.
Sarah Jacoby is with the United Way, which has created a data project known as ALICE.
If you are not Alice, you probably know people who are.
It measures the number of people in most states who are asset limited, income constrained, and employed. People who make above the federal poverty line, but less than what they need to afford basic living expenses.
2 out of every 5 people in America today are Alice. This truly is the American experience that people are living every day.
But the United Way's data shows it doesn't have to be.
The ALICE report not only does give us that data to understand where is Alice and what is their struggle, but it helps us have insight into what are the costs that people are truly facing and how we can craft everything from public policy positions to help improve lives from people to how we can create programs that are boots on the ground able to help people.
I wake up every day and say, you know what? I'm alive, my feet hit the floor, and I'm gonna make this a better day. It's gonna get better as I go, as long as I don't give up.
For The Race, I'm Alicia Nieves.
Poverty in one state may be different than poverty in another. Annie Taylor's finding out if there's a universal measurement.
Chris, the federal poverty rate was 12% back in 2018, and that's the lowest it's been since 2001. Poverty impacts minorities more often and is more common in southern states. The Census Bureau calculates the federal poverty line by looking at income thresholds for different types of households. In 2019, it was $13,300 a year for single people under 65 and just under $26,000 for a 4-person family that has 2 kids. Critics say that universal measurement is outdated and flawed. Currently, the federal poverty line is the same no matter where you live, and it doesn't factor in things like cost of living or access to government aid. There is an alternative. It's called the Census Supplemental Poverty Measure. It factors in income and things like government benefits and the regional cost of living. Supporters say it's more complete, but critics point out it's more complex to calculate and would upend decades of poverty trends. There are some agencies that use a simplified measurement to see who qualifies for government benefit programs like SNAP, FAFSA, and Medicaid. For The Race, I'm Annie Taylor.
Poverty can be seasonal for many Americans. How that can have a long-term impact. Next on The Race.